Hello and welcome again to another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show, where today I want to recommend to you 30 Australian punk rock singles that I believe are essential. Let's go. So punk rock is a broad term and there are so many individual genres under that umbrella. But what I want to talk about today is Australian punk rock. Now, some people might say those bands not punk rock, that band's not punk rock, there's nothing punk about that band, whatever, right? I don't care. To me, this is what I think falls under the punk rock umbrella, and these are records that I love and that I feel are essential to my collection. They might not be essential to yours, and that's totally fine. You don't have to jump on caps lock and start getting abusive in the comments. You don't need to do that. Just scroll on to another video. But these records are ones that I absolutely love, and if I'm getting this much enjoyment out of them, maybe you will too. And Australia has had such an amazing punk rock history that has been, oddly enough, largely ignored. Now, that is debatable, but I'm talking about the grand scheme of things around the world. If you were to look at the top 10 punk rock bands of all time, I doubt the Saints or Radio Birdman would get in there on, international lists. But to us Aussies, we love those bands, and there's so many more. But we'll get to that. All these records are in alphabetical order. So the band that I show you first might not be the band that I think is the ultimate, and same with number 30. But they're just in alphabetical order, just so there is no favoritism. We're just going through the records. So the first one I want to talk about is this band from Melbourne called Caustic Soda. They were around for a while. They had 2 albums out and a 7-inch, and this 7-inch was released on Crackle Records. It came out in like 98. Now, I always liked seeing this band live. Really cool mix of like Jawbreaker style punk rock, as well as the pop punk stuff like Game Face and bands like that on Doctor Strange. But this EP was their swan song, and I feel that this EP was just incredible from start to finish. All 4 songs in this are fantastic. Same ending, different story. Such a great opener. Shuffle and Scrape is possibly one of the greatest songs ever written. Just love it. But yeah, Short Change, it's short and it's great. And Part and Parcel is awesome as well. Very Jawbreaker. This EP rules. I'm glad that it exists because I rave about this a lot, and I probably have raved about it a lot on this channel. Very cool record. Second is The Eastern Dark, Julia's a Junkie, Johnny and Dee Dee. This will be in every list anyway of great punk singles from Australia. This is fantastic. The Eastern Dark are one of those bands that forever will be hugely underrated. They wrote nothing but hits. So this came out in 85, and both of these songs are fantastic. Unfortunately, with the passing of James Darroch in 1986, thus ending the band, and the incredible songs that the Eastern Dark were putting out. If you have it, you know how good it is. If you don't, you need to buy it. The Exploding White Mice from Adelaide, I Just Want My Fun. Now, every single single that this band put out is fantastic. This one though, I just really love because it's just very Ramonesy. I Just Want My Fun is such a Ramonesy song. And on the flip side, you get First Time Is the Best Time and Do the Crunch. Do the Crunch is a fantastic tune. Oh my God, what a rocker. But yeah, I Just Want My Fun, so good. Exploding White Mice, they obviously got their name from Rock and Roll High School. Shows how Ramonesy they were. But yeah, fantastic song. If you don't know I Just Want My Fun, please listen to it. It is such a good Ramones cool rocker. Fun Things, this is a no-brainer. This has a song Savage on it. Every other video about Australian punk singles is always going to feature this. So there's no real need for me to go into it. Just if you don't know it, you need to look it up. Brad Shepard from this band went on to be in the Hoodoo Gurus, be in the Monarchs, and other things. But Fun Things, if you can find a copy, it's really scarce now, but if you can find it, buy a copy of it. It is just worth every cent that you spend on it. God, My Power, this goes without saying. This is easily one of the greatest singles in Australian punk rock history. Members of this band went on to be in Hoss, the Powder Monkeys, and the Freeloaders, and countless of other bands. But My Power is like the hit and will always be the hit. And this is one of those singles that people just love, especially here in Melbourne. Like, bands really love this song. And what I've noticed is that a lot of bands cover this song because they realize how great the songwriting is on this, little record that still to this day is hailed as one of the greats, and for good reason. So if you've never heard My Power by God, look it up. I guarantee you'll be hooked from the get-go, and it will be a record that you want. Thankfully for you, this has been reissued like 20 times probably 5 or 6. But either way, it feels like it's been reissued 20 times, but whatever. It's still a good single. Just grab whatever issue you can find of this. The latest pressing that was released by Sorcerer has God written in blue, and the back, instead of being orange, is black. Very, very cool. The Hard-Ons busted with Suck and Swallow. I just listened to this again the other day. I've been listening to the Hard-Ons since like 1989, right? But putting this on again on the record and just cranking it up and listening to it, you can definitely hear the high energy radiating from the players as they recorded this single. It sounds live. It sounds like you're in the room with them. It is just so energetic. It's such a great performance of both songs. Listening to this now, this many years later, and still being excited by it just blows my mind, like how fresh this still sounds and rules. Yeah, if you've never heard Busted or Suck and Swallow by the Hard-Ons, give this a whirl. You can find this still cheap. Like, I found a second copy when I was in New York City for $8. Johnny Dole and the Scabs. This record is just crazy good. Like, it's just an awesome punk rock single from Australia. Johnny Dole and the Scabs, man. Oh my God. It's called Living Like an Animal. And yeah, Lucky Country on the B-side. Slave Girl by the Lime Spiders. This is a fantastic song. Like, this really is a rocker. And it has been covered by the Goo Goo Dolls, and they do an amazing version of it, just to show you that they do have punk rock roots. They did an incredible version of Slave Girl. But yes, this is a great single. It is so primitive, but in a good way. Like, it's got that cave stomp rocking through it. And I just love this single so much. This cost me $5 from Goldmine Records a bunch of years ago, but fantastic. This is such a good song. And, you know, it's songs like this that have stood the test of time. I mean, this is recorded in, 84? Released in, 84, 85? And to think that we have songs like this that still resonate so well to this day, and you put them on and, you know, it's just so rocking. You sit there and go, man, Australia's history rules. Mass Appeal, The Bar of Life, 2 tracks, Fun Again and Are You Alright, released on Waterfront Records. This thing is just punk hardcore thrash to the max. This is what I grew up on. I thought this single just ruled from start to finish. I just couldn't believe how fast it was, how high energy it was. It's just a great punk rock thrash single, skate punk, whatever you want to call it. Amazing artwork by Ben Brown on the cover. This is just essential. This is just amazing. If you do not know Mass Appeal and you love bands like Black Flag and stuff like that, listen to those first 2 Mass Appeal records. You can tell that they were definitely listening to a lot of bands like Black Flag and Negazwane and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, check them out. The Meanies, Dark Side of My Mind. This is such a good song. Yeah, I mean, there's so many good songs in the Meanies catalogue, but this one today is what's standing out to me. I just really, really like this song. And I remember the very first time I heard it, I was just blown away. Like, it was just so good. The cool thing about these singles is that there's so many of them around, like different Meanie singles. To try and collect them all is a nightmare, but they're just so cool when you get them. It feels like you've got something special, because you really do have something special. This is an amazing band that was just churning out great songs, and their live shows around this time were just on fire. Like, seriously, like, wow, what a live band. This one released on All Go Go. There's only 500 copies, but god damn, this is such a good single. Okay, so in 1965, the Missing Links released this single, Wild About You, which was covered later on by the Saints. This is a reissue, but this is the original version of it. It's released by Half a Cow Records through Corduroy, and yeah, it's just such a good single. Oh my god, both songs fantastic. So if you can find The Missing Links, Wild About You, I highly recommend you pick it up. It's probably not worth it much money, but it's essential to have because it's such a good song. And if you've heard the Saints version, you know what the song sounds like. So, but that's the original version, and that's killer. From 1965. The Mothers with the song Drives Me Wild. I think it's way better than the B-side, even though I like the B-side, Get Out of My Life. It's a good song, but Drives Me Wild is a killer tune. I love that riff. Very Dead Kennedys in a way, that riff, but such a good song. Recorded in 1987 and released on Waterfront Records. Fiona Horn, the singer of the band, went on to be in this band, Def FX, and yeah, made a name for herself, but this was her original punk band, and I really, really like this. This is a really good song. Speaking of Waterfront Records, Mr. Floppy released 100,000 Morrisseys. Now, this is very, very crazy, but very, very cool. Mr. Floppy were just out there. They really, really were. They had a drum machine, but they were playing all this punk rock music, and it was so cool. It's so wacky. It's so bizarre. It's a bit off the wall, but I love it. And this song especially is so good. And look at that. Like, really? Come on, meat is good. What the hell? But yeah, released on Waterfront. This is essential and you need it. Nursery Crimes with All Torn Up Inside. Nursery Crimes to me are Australia's version of the Descendants. Like Phil Rose, he's also the ghostwriter for Body Jar, so you will notice that his name appears on a lot of Body Jar stuff. But this is his band, Nursery Crimes. He's a singer. He is an amazing songwriter. And this song, All Torn Up Inside, oh my God, even the B-side's great. What Do You Know Anyway? But All Torn Up Inside is easily one of the greatest pop punk tunes you'll ever hear that ever came from this country. Like, seriously, like if you love the Descendants and you're not listening to Nursery Crimes All Torn Up Inside, you need to change that immediately because you'll get it and you'll be like, yes, this rules. The Onyas from Brisbane with a song called Live for Rejection. Don't be fooled with Man's Ruin release called Live for Rejection, because that song is actually not Live for Rejection. It's called Live for Rejection, but the song ain't on there. But it is on this one. And this was released by Lance Rock Records. And Stumpy did that artwork on the cover. But Live for Rejection is such a good song. In fact, all the Onyas records are great, but Live for Rejection is possibly my favorite Onyas tune. It is just such a rocker. On the back, you've got Keeper Healy and Rid Squad, but Live for Rejection is where it's at. If you don't know this song, check it out. Guitar player Macca from this is also now in Cosmic Psychos. So I'd say that like he only joined the band the other week. The guy's been in the band for years now. The Proton Energy Pills, who went on to become Tumbleweed. I've talked about this record enough on this channel, but it is still one of the greatest songs ever. It's called Less Than I Spend. I love it. And the B-side is Strawberry Patch, very Ramonesy. But Less Than I Spend, I love the harmonies on it. The backing vocals on Less Than I Spend were done by Bill Gibson, who was also in the Eastern Dark. And yeah, just incredible voice. But Proton Energy Pills, if you do not know this band, please check them out. They're before Tumbleweed, but then very different to Tumbleweed. While Tumbleweed were very stoner rock, these guys were way more upbeat. I really like Dave Curley's vocals. I really did. I loved his singing style. And yeah, Proton Energy Pills, fantastic band. Look them up. This is a no-brainer, and thank God it's been reissued. It is the Psychosurgeons, aka the Lipstick Killers, etc. This is Horizontal Action and Wild Weekend. This is released by Crypt. They did a reissue of it. Thank God for that. And it is well worth getting, especially this version because it's a gatefold sleeve and it has all these liner notes, which are very important and they're really good to read. So yeah, but there you go. This, if you don't already have it, it's readily available. It's still in print, and it is an essential part of your Australian punk rock record history if you have a box devoted to that, which I would like to think you do, because Australian music is awesome. So I know everybody raves about the first one, but I'm going to rave about this one. It's Aloha Stephen Dano by Radio Birdman. Yes, I know everybody loves Burn My Eye, and that's the ultimate record, and everybody goes on about it. And great, it's an awesome single. And for some reason, people charge stupid amounts of money for it when I found it in a bargain bin for $7. But the point of the matter is that I feel Aloha Stephen Dano is a creme de la creme. I love this song. It was the very first song I ever heard of Radio Birdman by watching Rage, and the video for this mix and version came on the TV. And I was instantly blown away. I was like, oh my God, how does this song exist? And I live in the same time continuum as it. So yes, although I didn't know they'd broken up at the time. They reformed in 96 and took over and were just amazing on the Big Day Out. And they just blew everybody away, and that was so good. And that Big Day Out tour was possibly one of the greatest things ever. So this got reissued in like 86, 87, something like that. And yeah, that's why I guess they breathed new life into the song and also put the video out on Rage and all that, which is great. Such a good video. But this song is forever going to be my favorite Radio Birdman song. I just love it so much. B-side is Anglo Girl Desire, which is a fantastic tune as well, making this single just top shelf all the way. But if you do not have this single, I recommend you jump online and buy it. I'm sure that this being that it's the 1986 version is probably not that expensive, but who knows? I haven't really looked it up. But it's well worth having because I just love that record so much. Rat Cats, I Think I Love You, and Depression. I actually think Depression is the strongest song of the two, even though I like both. But Depression is the ultimate Buzzcocks-ish pop punk tune. And this came out in the 80s as well. And, you know, they went on to become a massive household name in 1990 and 1991. They were huge. Like, you couldn't escape Rat Cat. They were in every magazine. They're on TV all the time. They sold thousands of records. But the Waterfront stuff is still what I feel their best stuff, especially this song, Depression, because Depression is just such a good tune. Like a really, really solid tune. And if you don't ever listen to this one, it's okay. As long as you listen to Depression, I'd be very happy with that because that song absolutely rules. So yeah, Rat Cat. They're playing here soon. I can't wait. This is a reissue. It's not an original because originals cost too much. But this was reissued by a company out of Brisbane, and I immediately jumped on it because I'd wanted this single forever. I remember getting this on a cassette tape from somebody many, many years ago and being blown away by it. But, you know, when you could start to find records around, you always realized how expensive they were. I'm talking about Stamp Out Disco by Razor. Now, this is one of the ultimate punk singles, and Stamp Out Disco is one of the ultimate punk songs. This stuff absolutely rules. Like, it really does. It absolutely rules. And I just love this. And I'm so glad that it got a reissue. It deserved a reissue. And I'm just so glad it got one. So, yeah, if you do not know Stamp Out Disco by Razor, I hope that you would jump online after this video and give it a listen, because it is a fantastic song, especially if you just love old school punk sounding stuff. I mean, this came out in the 70s. Funny story about that record, though, is when I met Henry Rollins, I heard that he had bought an original copy of this from Rocking Horse Records in Brisbane, and when he got to Melbourne, I had to ask him about it, and he seemed disappointed of the color of the labels. It wasn't the exact color he wanted, because the coloring of the labels is what determines how rare they are or something like that, or what pressing it is. So yeah, but anyway, either way, I was still envious that he was able to afford to buy an original of that. This is a reissue because the original sells for way too much money. It's You're So Boring by Rocks. I've done a video on Rocks. You can go back and watch that, and I've done a huge thing on Rocks. So goes through the records that I have of them, and I really hope they do come to Melbourne one day, because I would really, really like to see them live. Never seen them live, but love their records. Especially this one. This is a good one. Although, as much as I do love this one, I'm going to be honest and say that Final Assault, the record that they released on Waterfront, the 12-inch, I feel is a stronger record. That's just me, though. But I do love this. I'm not saying that this is bad in any way. This rules. I just think that Final Assault could be a little bit better. Just, I don't know why. I just love it. I just really love that record. If I did not include this next single in this video, I'm sure somebody would have clobbered me over the head with a, I don't know, a Kamal record or a Val Dunican or Mario Lanza or something that they got from a Salvation Army store, because that's where they seem to be. Or maybe they're going to hit me over the head with Herb Albert's Cream Delight, whatever it is. I'm talking about the Saints. I'm Stranded. This is a reissue that was done on In the Red, but regardless, I'm so glad to have it on 7-inch. I love this single so much. I think we all love I'm Stranded. Everybody who's heard I'm Stranded knows how good it is. And the B-side is No Time, and No Time is such a good song. So good song. I'm glad that In the Red reissued these. They reissued 3 different colors, and yeah, it was just good to get them. It's just such a good single. So if you don't have I'm Stranded by the Saints, can't help you, man, but you need to. The Scientists EP, this has my favorite Scientist song on it, which is Last Night. I just love that song so much, but this is a great record. Everybody needs this record. Everybody needs the song Last Night. So if you're ever making mixtapes for people, that song needs to be on it. I remember seeing it on Rage when I was a lot younger and just being blown away by how catchy it was. It just blew my mind. And I was just like, oh my God, this song rules so much. But yeah, The Scientists, Last Night. This next record will probably never end up on list, but it will end up on this one. It's the Slater's Crystal Girl. Now the B-side, don't really care for. It's not the worst song in the world, but just not something I'm really that into. It's called Pharaoh's Curse. But the song Crystal Girl, oh my God. What a tune. It was pop punk before pop punk was a thing, if that's such a thing. And yeah, just a really, really solid song. So if you do not know the song Crystal Girl, jump online and listen to it. It is online. You can listen to it on YouTube. I just love how catchy it is and just how Ramonesy it is. But it is just such a good song, and I really hope you check it out. The Slush Puppies. This is pre-Nursery Crimes, and this song You're So Perfect is definitely a must-hear. I definitely think you need to hear this record, because this song is awesome. In fact, every time I find this single, I buy copies of it and I give it to people, because it's like, oh, you like pop punk, you like stuff that's catchy, listen to the Slush Puppies. And no one has said to me yet that single sucked. So I'm doing pretty good. But yeah, if I ever see this around, I buy copies of it for that particular reason. So it is such a good single. But if you find a copy of it, you definitely need to buy it, because it is really, really solid. Another Descendants-ish song. The Space Juniors, Chewin'. I used to see this video on Rage all the time and would laugh myself silly over the video, and was just like, this song rules. And then as soon as I saw that song on there, I went straight to Seeing Ears and said, do you know anything about this band, the Space Juniors, and their single Chewin'? And the guy said, yeah, we've got it. And he sold it to me. It was $2.99. And yeah, I still think to this day, this single is just a classic. Again, Ramonesy. If you love Aussie punk, and you love catchy Aussie punk, and you love silly Aussie punk, listen to this song. There's a video of it on YouTube. It's it's well worth your time. Really, really cool. The Space Juniors, Chewin'. I mean, Chinatown's a great song too, but Chewin' is just such a classic. Metal Wench by the Spunk Bubbles. They do have a 12-inch EP as well called Speak Lebanese or Die, which I absolutely love. Ray Arndt from the Hard Ons did the cover work here, in case you couldn't tell. But this song, Metal Wench, is amazing. I absolutely love this tune. And the B-side is Treat Me Good, which is still a good song, but Metal Wench is just fantastic. Like, man, who writes songs that good? So, yeah, very, very cool. Check out the song Metal Wench by the Spunk Bubbles. I mean, what a band name, huh? The Spunk Bubbles. Fantastic stuff. On Waterfront. Toe to Toe, unanimous points decision. I do like Slap of Reality a lot, and I think it's awesome, but I really, really love this one. And purely because there's a song in here called The Edge, which, while they're not straight edge, it definitely sounds like a straight edge hardcore song. It is fast, it is gutsy, it's just awesome. I highly recommend, if you love hardcore, that's like New York City style hardcore, Toe to Toe are one of those bands you're going to want to listen to, especially this EP. But they do have a CD called The Best Defenses Attack, and it is a double CD that has all their singles and comp tracks on it and everything like that. And that is well worth getting, because you get everything. Demo versions or different versions of the songs and stuff, but you also get all the songs from the singles, and these singles are great. They also do Media Blitz. There you go, cover a Media Blitz. Voodoo Lust, Kathy's on Heat. Got to thank my mate Jay from who was in the Bloodsucking Freaks and, you know, Superfly and Z28, Muff, and tons of other bands. Jay got me into this song. I went over his house once with a blank tape and he recorded me a bunch of songs, and this was one of the songs he put on there called Kathy's on Heat. Now, I was immediately blown away by how catchy this song was, but also it's short and to the point, and it's just such a great song by a band called Voodoo Lust. They're very underrated and probably very underappreciated, but seriously, this is a jam, and I really hope that you check this song out, because if you like stuff that's just short and to the point, Kathy's on Heat's just a really good punk song. It really is. It also could borderline a power pop, but yeah, it's still a punk rock song as far as I'm concerned. Number 30. This is the last record I'm going to talk about today. Now, before I get into this, I know you're going to jump up and down and say, what about the Victims? Okay, I do not own those original Victims singles of Television Addict and that. I wish I did. I only have the LP that has every song on it, and I also have the 2 last singles that they did on In the Red. But I don't have Television Addict, and that's the one that I would definitely put up right now and talk to you about, because Television Addict is such a good song, and we all know that. It is such a brilliant song, but it's on LP for me. So if I ever do greatest punk rock LPs, maybe that'll get a mention then, all right? But the band I want to talk about is Voltease from Sydney. The song Kick It Out. This song was covered by Turbo Negro, and they did a fantastic version, albeit sped up a million times an hour. It is such a great tune. Kick It Out is just one of the best tunes from Australian music history. I love this song so much. It's got a very traditional chord progression in it, but it just works. It's a fun song to play. The B-side, Live or Die, it's good, whatever, give or take, doesn't matter. But Kick It Out is the gold here, and that song rules so much. In fact, every time I've ever played this song to somebody, they're always like, how can I find this? So yeah, it's a song that gets people once they hear it. So there we go, my friends. That is not, I wouldn't say top 30. This is just 30 punk records from Australia that I feel are essential. I do not think that they're the top 30, because the top 30, I don't have some of them on singles, so whatever. But 30 that I think you should have in your collection, these are the 30 I think you should have. If you love independent underground punk rock, especially from Australia, then that's the stuff you want to add to your collection. You don't have to though. I mean, you might listen to some of these songs and go, oh, this isn't punk rock at all. Okay, your expectations of what punk rock is might be different to mine. But for me, I love these singles. I'm sure if you love punk rock and Ramones and lo-fi punk or garage punk or whatever, I feel that these singles will also connect with you. Alrighty? Now, if there's ones that you think are amazing and that weren't featured here, instead of you jumping up and down and hitting caps lock and saying, why didn't you feature this? How about you just write a list below and tell me which ones are really cool in your eyes, not stuff that I should own, because I'll listen to it all and we'll see whether I should own it, you know, because at the end of the day, music is subjective, all right? So what I like, you might not like. What you like, I might not like. And that's totally okay. We don't have to connect with every piece of music ever. We can try. It's pretty hard though, but you like what you like, okay? No need to get angry about it with anybody else. You just like what you like. And that's the best way, I feel, to live life stress-free. Not worry about what anyone else thinks of your record collection. So please take care of each other and look after yourselves, and let's all live in one happy vinyl community together. I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.